Hi again, everybody. It's the History Nerd. I'm back in the man cave, and in this video, we're going to talk about the history and look under the hood of one of the most iconic hats Stetson ever made, the 6X Beaver Felt Stetson Open Road. Now, before I start the video, let me add a disclaimer. I know that when you put a hat down, you're always supposed to put it on the crown, not on the brim. Folks will always know, if you know about hats and how to treat them, by whether you put them crown side down or brim side down. But I'm going to break the rules for this video and put it brim side down so you can see the hat. Now, the Stetson Open Road was first introduced into the market in 1948, and it became an instant hit and an instant classic, and it has become a truly iconic hat today. When Stetson introduced this hat, they marketed it as the first hat that you could wear while working on a Texas cattle ranch or while walking the financial district in New York City, and it would look perfectly acceptable in both locales. It just depended upon the environment in which you're wearing it. And that's still true today. You can wear this hat in a dressy environment, or you can wear it while you're working, and it looks great in both. Now, several presidents have worn Stetson Open Roads in the Silverbelly color, this color. President Lyndon Johnson, President Dwight Eisenhower, and President Harry Truman all wore the Stetson Open Road. President George W. Bush wore the Stetson Open Road. Winston Churchill wore one when he painted, which was one of his hobbies. And there's a couple of other famous people I like to talk about who wore the hat that I have a small connection to. Dr. Wernher von Braun, the famous German aerospace engineer who led the team that designed and built the Saturn V rockets that took the Apollo astronauts to the moon. He wore and favored a Stetson Open Road. And his hat is in the archives of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, by coincidence, I sit on the board of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center up in Huntsville. And when I found out that his hat was in the archive, I made an immediate beeline to the archive, had them pull the hat, and just recently I had my photo taken holding Wernher von Braun's Stetson Open Road while I was wearing mine. And the cool thing about von Braun's is his name is embossed in gold foil on the sweatband, on the leather sweatband of his hat. It says, made especially for Dr. Wernher von Braun. Now, his name's misspelled. He spelled his name W-E-R-N-H-E-R, and the H is missing in the embossed version of his hat. But still, that's a boss move. When you've got your name in gold foil on your hat, you are a true gangster, my friend. Another person who wore the Stetson Open Road was Hank Williams Sr., one of the greatest songwriters and country music performers in the history of the world. Hank Williams Sr. is one of the only people who's enshrined in both the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Hank was from Alabama, where I live, and his open road is in the vault of the Alabama Department of Archives and History. They keep it under lock and key in a vault in a perfect humidified environment. And by coincidence, I represented two governors on the archives board. So I threw that card down on the table and got access to the vault. And just a few years ago, I was able to hold Hank Williams Sr.'s Stetson Open Road, got to hold a pair of his boots, and I got to hold his original handwritten lyrics to I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, which as a history buff, that's a moment that I will cherish to my final days. You may also recognize this hat as being worn by Jackie Gleason when he portrayed Sheriff Buford Pusser and Sheriff Buford Justice in Smokey and the Bandit which is my favorite movie. Matter of fact, I love the movie so much, a buddy of mine, as a joke, recently took a photo of me wearing my this Stetson Open Road, and he photoshopped it onto the body of Jackie Gleason as Buford T. Justice. Now, as I mentioned, this color is known as Silverbelly. Some people consider it an off-white. Some people consider it a light tan. Some people consider it a light gray or a light silver. It gets the name from the fact that this is made partially from beaver fur. There's not a whole lot of beaver fur in a 6X hat, but it's got beaver fur in it. And the belly fur of a beaver is this color. So the name of the name of this color, Silverbelly, comes from the fact that a beaver has a silver belly. But don't be mistaken, this hat is not made purely from the belly hair of beavers. The belly hair of a beaver is the softest and finest hair on the animal's entire body, and hat makers actually can't use that fur because it doesn't contain enough of the coarse fibers that join together to form felt. The outer coat of a beaver pelt is too coarse. So the only fur they can really use to make beaver felt hats is from the undercoat of the beaver. And part of the reason beaver fur is so expensive is you only get a small amount of usable fur from a beaver pelt. So this is the Silverbelly hat, color hat. It's got a 4-inch crown. It's got the cattleman's crease, which is one of the truly legendary shapes of a Western hat. It's got a 2 3/4 inch brim with a bound edge. If you have a ribbon sewn around the edge of your brim, that's called a bound brim. It's got a small grosgrain ribbon. Again, I mentioned this in another video. Grosgrain is spelled Grosgrain, but it's not pronounced gross grain, it's pronounced grosgrain. And all that means is it has vertical ridges throughout the ribbon. It also comes with a JBS branding iron hat pin on the side. Stands for John Bateman Stetson, the founder of the company. Now, if you look inside of this hat, it's got a leather hat band. The front of the hat says the Open Road. The side of the hat has the Stetson logo and says Royal Deluxe quality, made in the USA. It's got a satin lining, again, with the Stetson logo in the top. Now, the reason this hat says Royal Deluxe quality is there's two kinds of beaver felt open roads. There's actually, I think, more than two, but the two main kinds are the regular 6X and the 6X Royal Deluxe. This is the 6X Royal Deluxe. The difference between the two is the 6X is a much stiffer hat. The brim of that hat is so stiff, you could bang it on this box like a gavel. It's really the kind of hat that you want to wear when you're working that cattle farm, because it's not going to get banged up, it's not going to get hurt. It is a stiff working hat, but can still be worn as a dress hat. Now, this is the Royal Deluxe, which is the dressy version of the hat. I don't have a cattle farm. I'm never going to work on a cattle farm. So this has a much more flexible brim. It's not as stiff as the 6X. This is more of the business version of the hat. And I say dressy. You don't have to dress up to wear this. You can wear this in casual environments. You can wear this anywhere. That's what makes it a truly great hat. It is a hat that you can wear literally anywhere and fit in wherever you go. Now, the cost of this hat, I think the Royal Deluxe and The regular 6X are the same price because as I said, the only difference in them is really the stiffness of the brim and crown. And it's not a cheap hat. It's $235. But this is the kind of hat that if you take care of it, keep it in the box, crown side down, brush it, get it shaped, don't wear it in a drenching rain. If you take care of this hat, it will last you for decades. Getting this hat is not a purchase. It's an investment that will last you for decades if you take care of your hat. Now, let me tell you, every time I have worn this hat in public, and this is no exaggeration, some stranger has complimented me on this hat. I don't know if it's the fact that men don't wear hats these days. Men or women don't wear hats very often these days. And so when somebody does wear one, it stands out more. But really, I mean, every time I've worn it, I've gotten a compliment. As a matter of fact, just last weekend, I took my daughter to a Civil War battle reenactment, and a gentleman jogged across the field yelling, "Mister, Mister," and my daughter said, "Dad, I think he's talking to you." So I stopped and turned around, and the guy ran up and said, "What kind of hat is that? Where can I get one? How much does it cost?" The guy saw the hat from across the field and liked it so much, he ran to ask me where he could get one. So I gave him a little quick education on how to figure out his hat size and where to get the best deal on this hat. So really, if you get a Stetson Open Road and wear it, prepare to get compliments. Because look, if a guy who looks like me gets complimented, I'm sure you good-looking bastards will get lots of compliments, a lot more than I do. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I think that's about it. So that's the Stetson 6X Beaver Fur Open Road. Some things go out of style, but this hat will never be one of them. Now look, if you enjoyed this video and want more content like it, I need you to do three things for me. I need you to like the video, give me the little thumbs up. I need you to subscribe to my channel, and I need you to hit the little bell notification so when I post more videos, you'll be notified. I am clueless about these things, but I'm told that if you'll do those three things, it will help me with whatever algorithm YouTube uses, and it will soar my channel to the top of the popularity charts. I have big plans for this channel. We're going to talk about more Stetsons. We're going to drink some rare bourbons. We're going to go to some really neat historic places. We're going to take field trips, and we're going to learn some wonderful history. And I think we can build a good relationship with each other if you'll just stick with the channel. So just like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon. So until next time, be good, be well, be happy, and goodbye.